this particular piece started with a setting on the Enzo that kind of square wavy sound, but I did an interesting thing where I think I detuned it to maybe like a fifth below, and in a rare occurrence, I brought in some of the dry. So what you're hearing in that is like the dry signal of the guitar, which is maybe the root, it'd be the root note, and then I believe the Enzo's producing a fifth below that in the mono setting or whatever. So then that, when I was kind of tooling around with that idea, I was like, okay, well maybe all this other stuff could start to happen around it. So that brought me to the SP404, Roland sampler. So I had this like drum loop thing that I thought was kind of cool sounding and fit the vibe of it. And so, because I love how much the Ottobit interacts with drum sounds and how you could link it up easily, even without MIDI, which we're not using MIDI in this, we're just using straight in, and then using the tap tempo for some of the stuttery stuff. So the drum machine, drum sounds out of the SP404 are going into the Ottobit and tweaking like some of the filter, those really, really clean filter sweeps that you can do with it. And then, I mean, you kind of just can get really close when you tap out the tap tempo based on whatever sounds are going into it. And I feel like without it being MIDI, it's like kind of dead on. So then you can get all the cool stutters going out of it, and then that's just going direct. So that's what the drums, how the drum sounds are being processed. And then this thing, which is the smiley face with two Alesis air effects. This eyeball, the right eyeball is an air effects, the left eyeball is an air synth. So these sounds coming out of this, out of the smiley face, go into the Hedra, which go into the Mercury, which are then getting looped into line 6 HX effects. But what's interesting about this is right eyeball is like a drone sound, left eyeball is like a kind of a bell that we figured out is in B major. So then we come over to the Hedra, and then we have this, the key set to B major, and then we adjust the pitches from there. And I think we ended up just with a fifth below, a fifth above, and an octave. So technically we could have just left that in chromatic and it wouldn't have made a difference. But so that's really fun because then you get kind of like all the moving bell sounds out of it and stuff. So the Polymoon is always on for that deep kind of like wavy chorus sound. And going back to my original Enzo kind of square wavy thing with that's detuned to a fourth, that just sounded so much more interesting to me with the chorus on than by itself. And we were talking earlier how generally I would use the Enzo's kind of detune function, the chorus on it, and that gives it sort of, I don't know how you would describe what that chorus sound is, kind of a buzzy thing, right? How would you describe what that chorus sound is coming out of? It's almost like you're just slightly detuning one, the oscillators, yeah. So that's, I mean, more of a detune sound, where the Polymoon, what I'm getting at is more of like a traditional chorus, I guess like a chorus pedal or something. So that's what's happening for there. I have my preset switch on the Enzo. So I'm getting, I believe in this performance, 2 different sounds out of that. And then, yeah, like I said, that hits the DL4, which then goes into the line 6 HX effects, which is set to DL4 mode as well.